ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्रिसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूगं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुर्लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं। Hare Krishna. So, we are discussing this chapter entitled King Puranjana goes to the forest to hunt and his wife becomes angry. So, this is the topic and the last two verses of this chapter. So, here King Puranjana, because he had disobeyed his wife and gone to the forest without taking permission, and he did a lot of killing, so he became very morose. That is a general symptom of doing sinful activity, that when we do sinful activities, one becomes morose. Nobody can be sinful and yet be happy. A sinful person has to be miserable. That is the nature of karma. Whenever you do good karma, good things happen to you. You become more happy and blissful. And whenever somebody does a bad karma, sinful activity, prohibited activity, immediately he is affected by the feeling of guilt. If he is a good soul, he will be affected by the feeling of guilt. But if he is so much hard-hearted that he continues committing sinful activities, then he doesn't even feel that guilt. That guilt is also suppressed. So he becomes more animalistic. A good soul repents his sinful actions, but an animalistic person, he doesn't even repent for his sinful actions. He goes on committing one after other sinful activities and becomes more and more miserable in his life. So here you will see Puranjana is a good soul. He temporarily got affected by Maya. He got carried away by the tendency to kill indiscriminately. Similarly, the Jiva also has the tendency to go astray because of the influence of the modes of material nature. When the Jiva comes to this material world, the pure Jiva is covered by the modes of material nature, and his actions are dictated by the three modes of material nature. Although the Jiva's tendency is to love and serve Krishna, but that loving and serving tendency gets diffused towards other things in this world. And that's called as kama. The original prema is to love and serve Krishna. But that loving and serving tendency gets reposed in the temporary objects of this world, then that's called as kama. Kama means the desire to enjoy material senses. That's called kama. So the jiva in this material body, he has the tendency to enjoy material sense objects, and those material sense objects, he feels that it gives pleasure to his senses. Right? I was hearing a Prabhupada's lecture yesterday. Prabhupada was very nicely making this point, very elaborately explained this point of how everyone wants to serve. Everybody wants to serve. But even if somebody says that I don't serve anyone, but still is serving his mind and senses. But you may say, no, I am serving this boss, I am serving that boss. No, ultimately you are serving your mind and senses. Because you are serving that boss because you get some money. And with that money I can satisfy my senses. So ultimately the desire to enjoy is there, the desire to satisfy one's senses is there, to serve the senses is there. So nobody can say that I am not serving anyone. Ultimately every materialistic man is serving his own senses. Even the service to others which he is doing is also for his own satisfaction. If a person works hard in the company and the company doesn't pay him, he says, get lost, I am not coming tomorrow. Why? Because his desire is not getting fulfilled. His senses are not getting satisfied. Isn't it? So ultimately everybody who is materialistic, he is serving his own mind and senses. He wants to be happy. So for that purpose he makes an extended family, extended sense gratification. Oh, these people will give me sense gratification. Wife, children, right? A husband, all these people who are there near and dear, they also satisfy his senses. That's why he serves them, he keeps them happy, so that he gets happiness. Ultimately it is swartha. Then he may extend that tendency to love and serve with the community. I belong to this community, so this community people will help me, they will satisfy me, so let me be part of this. Let me serve them, so that I also get some benefit. Isn't it? Then, so like this, self and the extended families, extended relationships, country. Oh, I serve this country because this country gives me sense gratification, gives me facilities to enjoy my sense gratification. I can be happy. So that's why ultimately the desire to love and serve is always there. But if you don't love and serve Krishna, then one will love and serve his senses. Right. Prabhupada used to say that if somebody doesn't love and serve God, then he will love and serve dog. Right. Chaitanya Chandra was telling that he went to some country, in some city, there are more dogs than humans because people love dogs. They keep more dog partners than human partners. Right. Reason is humans betray, they get cheated. They got cheated by other humans. But dogs don't cheat, so they say, no, better to have dogs than humans. But ultimately you have to serve someone. If you don't serve God, then you have to serve some relative, some wife or children, or ultimately dog, or ultimately one's own senses. So loving and serving tendency is there. So Puranjana, he went out of home to enjoy sinfully, but he realized, I made a mistake. And he came back and begged forgiveness. The whole chapter is all about that. He comes and he sees wife is very morose. He goes, offers obeisances, touches her feet, tries to pacify with nice sweet words, so that he can again win her trust. Similarly, the jiva who disobeys the good intelligence, right? Our intelligence is compared to wife. Our intelligence always helps us in Krishna consciousness. Good intelligence, not bad intelligence. There is kubuddhi and subuddhi. Subuddhi means that intelligence which takes us closer to Krishna. Kubuddhi means that which takes us away from Krishna. So we should have subuddhi, not kubuddhi. Right? Kubuddhi comes from bad association. Subuddhi comes from good association. By reading Shastras, by hearing from devotees, one gets good intelligence to decide what is right and what is wrong. So one has to take good association. Otherwise, if one takes bad association, then the intelligence gets contaminated by the bad scripts and he starts considering wrong to be right and right to be wrong. And as we hear in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, right? He considers dharma to be adharma, adharma to be dharma. That is bad intelligence. But good intelligence means that which considers right to be right and wrong to be wrong. So one should use one's proper intelligence. Before doing any action, one should take consultation from one's own intelligence of what is right and what is wrong. So that is called discrimination. So one of the functions of intelligence is to discriminate what is right, what is wrong. Then one also needs determination. So determination to act on that right thing. Some people know what is right, some people know what is wrong, but they are not having the strength, sufficient strength to act on the right thing. Isn't it? Sometimes we also face that situation, right? You know what is right, you know what is wrong, but somehow the determination is weak. Then we may fail to do certain activities of Krishna consciousness. So one should develop strong determination, and that determination comes from good association. Like getting up early in the morning, it's very easy in association, temple, isn't it? Because there is that environment is created where everybody gets up early. So when you see everybody getting up, we also get up, isn't it? But we see when there is no association, somebody is sleeping alone, or he is alone at home, or he is in some other place, staying in hostel, students who are staying in hostel. It's very difficult because the environment is not very suitable and his determination becomes weak. So by strong association, one can strengthen the determination. And by reading scriptures and hearing from devotees, one can strengthen one's discrimination, one's intelligence, right? What is the first one? Discrimination, then determination. So both have to be there. So we know what is right, we know what is wrong, but to act on the right thing, we should have strong determination, and that comes from association. So here Puranjana, he had gone alone to hunt. So he had discrimination, but he lacked the determination to avoid sinful activities. But good thing is later on he realized that I made a mistake. Then he came back and then begged forgiveness. So the jiva, after committing sinful activity, he again starts talking to his intelligence, consulting his intelligence. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I repent. Please tell me how can I rectify myself. And the intelligence will say, okay, do intensify your sadhana, do intense tapasya, right? Do fasting. So then the good advice comes. And then he will start acting on it and tries to become more and more stronger in his determination. So, Prabhupada says here that what is good intelligence? What is the nice statement Prabhupada made here in the purport? When one's consciousness and intelligence are without any brilliant thoughts about Krishna, they become morose and lusterless. So much so that one cannot derive any benefit despite sharp intelligence. So intelligence is compared to wife. So if the wife is nicely decorated with tilak and kumkum on her forehead, she looks attractive, very respectable, very attractive. Similarly, the intelligence also which thinks of Krishna, which has wonderful thoughts of Krishna, that intelligence has become beautiful, very attractive. So that's why one should try to place Krishna in one's mind and heart. That's why we sang that song at the beginning. Bhajahu re mana, Sri Nanda Nandana Abhay Charana Ravindare. Oh my mind, please worship Krishna. Please think of Krishna. The lotus feet of Krishna, Abhaya Charana Ravindare. Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange Tarahoe Bhavasindare. This human life we have got, it's very, very rare. After millions and millions of lifetimes we have got this human birth, we should not waste this human life now, so we should go back to Godhead. How to do that? By thinking of Krishna, by cultivating Krishna consciousness. So one should cultivate this habit of thinking of Krishna. Last 3 days we had sessions with Chaitanya Charan who spoke on the topic of making your mind think of Krishna. Isn't it? Very nicely, technically he analyzed the nature of the mind and gave some wonderful tips of how to accept Krishna. First is we should understand the presence of Krishna. Krishna is present. Krishna is present within me and I am present within Krishna's clan. Isn't it? Krishna is there in my heart, but I can't perceive. He is present, but I cannot perceive. So although he is present, I cannot perceive, but in the later stages of bhakti, I can perceive. He becomes revealed to us. Right now he is present, but he is not revealed to us. Just like sometimes sun may be there in the sky, but clouds are hovering in the sky, so you can't see the sun. When the cloud moves away, then you can see the sun. Right now also the Lord is there as Paramatma in the heart, but we cannot perceive him because he is covered by the cloud of or we are covered by the cloud of avidya. We can't see him. Krishna is never covered, but we are covered. Maya javanika channam ajnadokshajam avyayam nalakshase mudadrisha nato natya dharo yata. Kuntyamarani's wonderful prayer. She is telling here, O Lord, you are covered by the curtain of Maya. My vision cannot see you. Maya javanika achannam agnya adokshajam avyayam. I am ignorant. I cannot know you. You are adokshaja, you are avyaya, you are eternal and you are adokshaja. You are beyond the perception of material senses. How can I see you? Nalakshase mudadrisha nato natya dharoveda. And you are also like an expert artist. And sometimes when you come in front of us, we cannot even recognize you. So when you come as Krishna or different avatars, we can't recognize you because you are like an expert dancer, expert artist. Like suppose one of you dresses like Ravana or Lord Rama. We will not be able to recognize you because makeup is there and all different dresses are there. So later on when a person removes all his costume, oh, he is you, it's you, isn't it? So like Krishna also may come as son of Nanda, son of Yashoda, he come in the Yadukula or Vrishni Vamsha, and those people think, oh, hamara admi hai, he is like one of us. So one may not be able to understand Krishna. But when Krishna reveals his glory to us, then we can understand. And reveals his glory only by his sweet will, not by our efforts. We can do our efforts only to attract his grace. And when he is pleased, then he reveals himself. And then we can appreciate Krishna. So till then we have to just feel the presence of Krishna. Right? So Krishna is present. And then what is the second point Prabhuji had mentioned? Krishna has a purpose. His ultimate purpose is that we have to go back to him. The whole material world is designed in such a way that we have to navigate towards him. So whatever problems come in our life, Krishna has a purpose. What happens to me, it happens for good of me. Nothing happens without Krishna's sanction. Anything happens, it's by Krishna's will, so accept it as Krishna's will and let's remember Krishna and face that problem. No problem. Any problem is not at all a problem if you think of Krishna in that problem. A problem is a problem when you forget Krishna. Because the real problem is forgetfulness of Krishna. So in any situation, every situation, one should think of Krishna. So Krishna has a purpose. Then Krishna also has is extremely powerful. power, isn't it? So one should try to think of Krishna always. So then one's intelligence becomes very brilliant, very beautiful. Sa buddhira vimalendu shanka dhavala ya madhava dhyayini. Right? You know this verse from Kulashekar Maharaj? Let's recite this verse. A very long verse, Mukundamala Sutra, Sutra 19. So here Kulashekar Maharaj is telling about the perfection of the head, perfection of the eyes, perfection of the intelligence, perfection of the tongue. All the senses, when it is engaged in Krishna's service, becomes glorious, becomes purified. Yat Krishna pranipat dhuli dhavala Tadvarshma tadvaishiras Te netre tamasojjite suruchire Yabhyam harir drishyate Sa buddhira vimalendu shanka dhavala Ya madhava dhyayini Sa jivamrita varshini pradipadam Ya stoti narayanam. Can somebody read the translation?
That head is the loftiest, which is white with dust from going down to Lord Krishna.
What is it? Yat Krishna pranipat dhuli dhavala. Right? The Krishna, when his head becomes dusty by falling down at the feet of Krishna, then it becomes lofty. Tadvarshma tadvaishiras, that head becomes lofty. When you, so जो झुकता है वही उठता है. झुकना भी स्ट्रेंथ है ना. कृष्ण अर्जुन झुक गए तब उठ गए ना, युद्ध जीत पाए. If Arjuna had not surrendered to Krishna, could he have won the battle? Not possible. Similarly, जो भगवान के सामने झुकता है, भगवान को प्रणाम करता है, वो उठता है. So he gets up, he becomes lofty. Then
those eyes are the most beautiful, which darkness has abandoned after they have seen Lord Hari.
Te netre tamasojjite suruchire yabhyam harir drishyate. Netre tamasa ujjite, removed of all darkness. Suruchire yabhyam harir drishyate. They become most beautiful. Suruchira, netra. But those eyes which see the material beauty only, not seeing Krishna's beauty, they are dull, full of ignorance, full of darkness. Next.
That intelligence is spotless, like the white glow of the moon or a conch shell, which concentrates on Lord Madhava.
Sa buddhir vimalendu shanka dhavala, as spotless like a conch. Right? Conch, the original conch which comes from the ocean, very spotless, clean. So mind also becomes spotless when it's focused on Krishna. Buddhir vimala indu shanka dhavala. Vimala means spotless. Shanka dhavala, white like a shanka. Ya madhava dhyayini, that mind which focuses on Krishna. Then next.
That tongue rains down nectar which constantly glorifies Lord Narayana.
Sa jivamrita varshini pratipadam yastoti narayana. Ya jiva which does stuti of Narayana becomes glorious. So it rains down nectar. जो हमेशा कृष्ण कथा बोलते रहते हैं ना, उनके मुंह से हमेशा अमृत निकलता है. Their voice is, talk is so sweet to hear. We feel like continuously going to hear. No? Right? Some people get addicted to Prabhupada lectures. They keep hearing daily. I'm at his Bhakti Brother Bhagavat Maharaj, and he showed this device to hear Prabhupada lecture. He said, "This is nectar." his feeling is that this is nectar. This is more than nectar. He said, "Not nectar. This is more than nectar." Such wonderful, sweet talks Srila Prabhupada gave. So the tongue becomes nectarian when you talk about Krishna. In this way, one should engage all one's senses in Krishna service. Then they become purified. There's a long purport. Then he says here again, Jive kirtaya keshavam muraripum Cheto bhaja sridharam Pani dvandva samarchaya achyutakatha Shrutradvayam tvam shrunu Shrutradvayam tvam shrunu Krishnam lokaya lochanadvaya hare Gacchangri yugumalayam Jigragrana mukunda pada tulasim Murdhanna madhokshajam. This one verse, Kuleshwar Maharaj tells how to use all the senses. एक श्लोक में पूरा डाल दिया. जिह्वे कीर्तय केशवम मुरारिपुम. Oh my tongue, please glorify Keshava, who is the killer of Mura demon. Cheto bhaja Sridharam. Oh my mind, please think of Krishna, please worship Krishna. Cheto bhaja Sridharam. Sridhara is husband of Shri. Pani dvandva samarchaya. Two hands, please serve Krishna. दो हाथों से सेवा करो. समर्चया. Samarchaya means to serve. अच्युत कथा श्रुतद्वयम तुम शृणु. श्रुतद्वयम, 2 ears, please hear अच्युत कथा. कृष्ण कथा, अच्युत की कथा को सुनो बोल रहे हैं. श्रोत्रद्वयम त्वम शृणु. देन आँखों से कृष्णम लोके लोचन द्वय. 2 eyes, 2 लोचन, द्वय लोचना. प्लीज लोकया, प्लीज सी whom? Krishnam. Only Krishna one should see. And you should see everything as belonging to Krishna. That is spiritual vision. Then Harer Gacha Angri Yugmalayam. Yugam. Harer Alayam Angri Gacha. Oh legs, please walk to the temple of Krishna. Like all the devotees, they come from their home to temple. Right? So like this one should walk towards Krishna, do pradakshina of Krishna's temple. Jigragrana Mukunda Pada Tulisim. What is the meaning of this? Smell? Smell the tulsi. Mukunda Pada Tulisim. Granam. Grana means nose. Jigra means to smell. Jigragrana. Jigragrana. Mukunda Pada Tulasim. Padam Nama Adhokshajam. Murdhan Nama Adhokshajam. Murdhan means the head. Offer obeisances to the lotus feet of Adhokshaja, Krishna. So in this way, one should engage all one's senses in Krishna service. Right? But the tendency of the senses is to go away, to go astray here and there, to think of other things, to see other things. So, of course, Mukunda Mala Stotra is also like nectar. Every shloka, I used to, in early days of ashram, I used to read a lot, memorize all these verses. It's very, very nice. All of you can also try to read and memorize these verses. All are wonderful. Right? So I was telling that, yes, so here Puranjana, he went astray, but then he came back. So our constant endeavor should be, when the senses go away, pull them back. Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalam astiram. Tatastato niyamyatad atmanyeva vasham nayet. So not only the mind, this shloka talks about mind. Yato yato nischalati manaha. Whenever the mind goes somewhere, you have to bring it back. Similarly, the eyes also go somewhere, you bring it back. Right. Tongue is speaking something, bring it back. Speak only Krishna Katha. Ears want to hear something, bring it back. So by constantly bringing them back and engaging in Krishna service, they become purified. And in the purified state, the senses will not like to go anywhere. They want to be always engaged in Krishna service. till that stage comes, this struggle will be there. This struggle will be there till the senses have some contamination, right? इसलिए भगवद गीता में बोलता है कि थोड़ा टॉलरेट करो. Senses may have the tendency to go for sense gratification, but try to tolerate those things and continue your bhakti. शक्नोति हैवयः सोढुं प्राक्शरीर विमोक्षणात् कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं सयुक्ता ससुखी नरः. Who is happy? One is able to tolerate the itch of sense gratification and be fixed up in Krishna's service. He is happy. But if somebody lets his senses go towards sense gratification, he becomes miserable. A sincere devotee, a happy devotee, will try to, struggle will be there, but he will try to always engage Krishna's senses in Krishna's service. So that struggling devotee is also happy. But a devotee who gives up the hope, Hare mere se nahi hoga, better let me do sense gratification, he becomes more miserable. Right? So there is Shaknoti Hevaya Sodu. Till the time we die, Prak Sharir Vimokshana. We should try to tolerate these urges of the senses and constantly engage them in Krishna's service. Then in the purified state, they will be experiencing the bliss of Krishna consciousness. Right? So, Puranjana came back home and tried to reinstate himself in. He took bath, right? We read in the previous verses, he took bath, heard the mantras being chanted by Brahmanas, and he put some fragrance and he wear fresh clothes. That is compared to purification, right? And then after purification, he comes to meet the good intelligence, and then he tries to beg forgiveness and then tries to reinstate himself in his original dharmic state. Right? So we also are now contaminated. So we should try to again reinstate ourselves in our original state. What is that? Krishna consciousness. Right? And that will happen by following the angas of sadhana bhakti that we sang in that bhajan. Shravana kirtana, smarana vandana, padu sevana dasare, pujana sakijana atmanivedana, govinda dasa akilashare. So by doing this Navida bhakti, starting with Shravana kirtana, one can revive one's own Krishna consciousness, lost Krishna consciousness, and reinstate ourselves in our original consciousness. So that's why Srila Prabhupada has given us this wonderful path and wonderful moment where such facilities are available. So let's try to follow this angas of bhakti and also distribute it to others. We should not be selfish to just deliver our own self, but we should also be concerned about others and try to give this Krishna consciousness to others and make others also Krishna conscious. Okay, I'll pause here. If somebody has any comments or questions, they can take.
The Prabhupada